Hi, welcome to Eric's Movie Corner. I'm Eric, and I'm here to talk about movies. Let's do it. So today, I'm going to be doing probably what I should have done first before I actually put out any movie reviews. Oops, my bad. Anyway, one of my stated objectives in my intro video was to expose younger horror movie viewers to some classics that maybe they haven't seen yet. So I imagine that the viewing audience of this particular video is going to be 17 to 30. A lot of these movies are rated R, and I know nobody out there under the age of 17 is watching R-rated movies, right? So what I'm going to do today is go through a list of what I consider to be 25 fundamental horror movies that new horror fans should make sure they watch. Now, this is not a best movie of all time list. If it were, there would be some movies from the past decade on here. There are not. These are older movies. I think the newest one on here is from 1991. So, if you are an older horror movie fan like me, you're probably going to find this list a little boring because it's all stuff you've already watched. However, if you are a younger viewer or perhaps somebody that's new to being a horror fan later in life, then you should pay attention and make sure that you have seen each and every one of these movies because these are the foundation that everything else was built on. So, I'm going to give you the titles and years of each one, and you should write them down and make sure you go watch them all. Here we go. 1922. Doesn't get a whole lot older than that when you're talking about movies. Nosferatu. It is a silent movie. It is a black and white movie, but it is worth your time to go check out because it has inspired people ever since it was made, including as recently as What We Do in the Shadows, one of the vampires. It was modeled after Count Orlok from this movie. So check out Nosferatu. Dracula, 1931. Now, Dracula is really a proxy entry for all of the Universal monster movies. Dracula, The Mummy, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Watch all those. They're fundamental. I didn't want to make this list too long, though, so I just put one entry in to represent all the Universal monster movies, and it's Dracula from 1931. We jump forward to 1960 with Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock movie. You should watch a bunch of Hitchcock movies because he was a great filmmaker. This one in particular is notable because it was unexpected, to say the least, when it came out, and they had a gimmick where they would not let people into the theater after the movie had started because there was a plot twist, which at the time was mind-blowing. So, check out Psycho. It's also a classic. Night of the Living Dead, 1968. Check this one out because it is the father of all modern zombie movies. I know that George Romero didn't actually call them zombies in this movie, but guess what? They're zombies now. So, Night of the Living Dead, check it out. The Exorcist in 1973. This movie still freaks people out. If you're into reaction videos, I suggest watching some reaction videos to this movie after you've seen it. It's really amusing because people still lose their minds when they watch this movie for the first time. So check it out, The Exorcist, 1973. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974. This is a Tobe Hooper classic that has scared a lot of people over the years. A lot of people think this movie is pretty bloody, but if you pay attention, it's not actually that gory. It's all in your mind. So go check it out. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Jaws, 1975. I already did a review on this one. This is, in my opinion, one of the greatest movies ever made. Make sure you see it. The Omen, 1976. This is a personal fave of mine. Little Devil Child, pretty cool stuff. Halloween, 1978. I also did a review on this one already, so make sure after you've seen the movie, you go check that out. Michael Myers, one of the first slashers. Alien, 1979. This is pretty much a slasher in space, only the slasher is an alien. Yeah, check it out. Sigourney Weaver rules. Also from 1979, Phantasm. This movie's not going to be for everybody. It is surreal. However, you should check it out if only so you know who the tall man is, to see the cool little sphere things, and to hear one of the best theme songs from a horror movie ever. Friday the 13th, 1980. I did a review on this one already. Totally worth your time to go check out. Also from 1980, The Shining. Jack Nicholson, Shelley Duvall. It is based on a Stephen King novel. I know that Stephen King has roasted this movie over the years because he doesn't think it's a great adaptation of his book. I agree with him on that point. However, as a horror movie in its own right, it is quite good. So check it out, The Shining. An American Werewolf in London, 1981. This has probably the best werewolf transformation on screen ever. And I don't think, even with modern effects, that anybody has beaten this since then. So it's worth watching just for that. The Howling, also from 1981. Apparently 1981 was the year of the werewolf. Completely different type of transformation, completely different type of werewolf, but also worth your time to check out. The Evil Dead from 1981. This is Sam Raimi's low-budget horror classic that launched his career, probably because they got a quote from Stephen King on their movie poster. However, be that as it may, it is still a horror classic. It is very low budget, but worth watching just to see where Sam Raimi started. The Thing from 1982. I already did a review on this movie, so make sure you go see it and then go check out my review. A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. I also did a review on this one, so make sure you go watch it and check out my review. The Fly from 1986. Now this is actually a remake of a movie that came out earlier in the century. However, this is one of the great David Cronenberg body horror movies, so make sure you check it out. Near Dark, 1987. This movie has Bill Paxton in it and is directed by future Oscar winner Kathryn Bigelow. It's a good movie. It's a good vampire movie. Go check it out. Also in 1987, Hellraiser. You probably know what Pinhead looks like even if you've never seen this movie. He has worked his way into popular culture and there are references to him all over the place. So check it out. Also in 1987, Predator. I might get some arguments from people that Predator isn't a horror movie, and that's your opinion. That's fine. I think there's enough horrifying stuff in it that you can qualify it as a horror movie, so I'm putting it on this list. So Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle from 1987. Check it out. 1988, Pumpkinhead. This is a neat demon story with some great creature effects by Stan Winston, so make sure you check it out. And last but not least, we've got The Silence of the Lambs from 1991. A lot of people try and tell you this is not a horror movie. This is a psychological thriller. Most of those people are just butthurt because a horror movie won 7 Oscars and horror movies get snubbed at the Oscars all the time. For some reason, people think of horror movies as lesser. Some of them are, but a lot of them are quite good, and this is one of them. Won a bunch of awards, so check it out, The Silence of the Lambs. For bonus points, I'm going to point to 1986's The Hitcher. That's a personal favorite of mine. It's kind of hard to get a hold of, which is why I didn't put it on the main list. Last I checked, you could only get a hold of it through purchasing a DVD. You might be able to get it through the Cinemax app right now, if I'm not mistaken. But it's definitely not easy to find streaming anywhere. So, if you want to go find a copy of The Hitcher and check it out, let me know in the comments below and I will give you bonus points. I don't know what the bonus points are good for, but I'll give them to you. So that is my list of 25 fundamental horror movies that new horror fans should make sure they watch. Now, this is a subjective list, just like any list that is made. Not everybody's going to agree with my selections. That's fine. So if you think I left something off this list that should be there, let me know what it is and let me know what you would have taken off the list to put it in its place. So if you like this video, give it a like below. Please subscribe and hit the notification button so you know when I post something new. Thanks for stopping by Eric's Movie Corner. Come back next time